All right, so for this deep dive, we're going somewhere dark.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about Horcruxes.
Ah, yes.
From Harry Potter.
Right.
And we're going to be looking at a YouTube video called Harry Potter, a deep dive into Horcruxes. History, lore, and theories explained.
Okay, great.
So, we all kind of know what a Horcrux is. It's this object that people can store a piece of their soul in.
Right.
And, to kind of like cheat death.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
But what's the real story with them? How messed up is this magic?
Well, I think one thing to keep in mind is that even in the wizarding world, nobody really talks about Horcruxes.
Right.
It's this dark secret that just kind of exists.
Yeah.
And just the fact that nobody really knows about it kind of tells you how bad it is.
So how far back does this go?
Oh, it's ancient. Yeah. I mean, we're talking centuries.
Round.
Herpo the Foul, he was a dark wizard from ancient Greece.
Okay.
He's people think he was one of the first people to make one.
Oh, wow.
And even back then it was considered taboo.
Right.
It was you just don't do this.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense that people don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
If it's that old, I'm assuming that there were probably a lot of people who tried to make these things.
Oh, absolutely.
And it didn't go well.
No. This is very dangerous magic.
Yeah.
We're talking, you're messing with your soul here.
Yeah. So what does it actually take to make a Horcrux?
So obviously the exact process is a bit of a secret. It's not like there's a, Horcruxes for Dummies book out there.
Right.
But we do know that it involves a ritual.
Good.
Some very, very dark magic. And most disturbingly, murder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is some serious dark stuff.
Very serious.
Yeah.
The act of taking a life it's believed to be what allows the soul to be split.
Okay, so you're saying that basically by killing someone, that's what allows you to actually break off a piece of your soul.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate act of evil, right? And it tears your soul apart.
Wow. So no wonder this is so secretive.
Exactly.
This is heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you have to remember that it doesn't just affect the victim, obviously.
Right.
It also affects the person who's making the Horcrux.
Yeah.
To split your soul like that, it changes who you are.
Yeah. So it's not just about becoming immortal, it's actually changing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fundamentally.
Fundamentally. And that's why even people who dabble in dark magic, they don't want to go anywhere near this.
So you're saying that creating a Horcrux doesn't just make you immortal, it also changes you.
Oh, absolutely.
On a very basic level.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's really interesting about Voldemort, right?
Yeah.
His whole descent into true evil kind of coincided with when he started making Horcruxes.
Really?
Yeah. So each piece of soul that he rips away, it's taking something away from him.
Oh, wow.
It's making him less human, less able to feel empathy.
So it's he's losing his humanity.
He is.
As he's making these things.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so how does this actually work?
Oh, okay.
You split your soul, you put a piece of it into this object.
Yeah.
How does that keep you from dying?
So the way I like to think about it is each Horcrux is like an anchor.
Oh, okay.
It's anchoring that person to the world.
Okay.
So as long as even one Horcrux exists, the soul can't move on.
Yeah. So it's not even really about cheating death. It's about it's almost like you're tied to the world.
You're tethered.
Yeah.
Unnaturally.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
It is.
Okay. So obviously Voldemort's the most famous user of Horcruxes.
Right.
And he took this to the extreme.
He did. And the fact that he split his soul so many times, it really shows you how terrified of death he was.
Yeah.
He was desperate to stay alive.
Yeah.
No matter the cost. But all of Voldemort's Horcruxes were intentional.
Right.
That was the point.
Yeah.
But then there's the theory about unintentional Horcruxes.
Yeah, and that's where things get really interesting.
That's where it gets really weird.
So what's the theory there?
So the idea is that any act that is really traumatic or really emotionally charged,
right,
especially if it involves death, could potentially split a person's soul.
Oh. So basically, someone could create a Horcrux without even realizing it.
Oh, so you could accidentally make one.
You could accidentally make one.
Wow.
And those are even more dangerous because nobody knows they're there.
Yeah.
Nobody knows to look for them.
So basically, like, it could be an object. It could be a place.
Could be a person.
Could be a person.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Like anything could become a vessel for this piece of soul.
Wow. So like you could just be walking around and not know that you're carrying a piece of somebody's soul.
It's pretty freaky.
Yeah. And the video talked about this, about how some people think that Harry Potter might be an unintentional Horcrux.
Right, because of when Voldemort tried to kill him as a baby.
Yeah.
And his mother died.
Yeah. Wow.
Like that was a very, very traumatic, emotionally charged event.
Yeah.
And some people think that might have split Voldemort's soul. So, like, instead of the curse rebounding, it actually, like, created a Horcrux in Harry.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a mind-blowing thought.
Yeah.
Because that adds a whole other layer to their relationship, right?
Totally.
That's not just, this whole chosen one prophecy thing.
Right.
It's like there's this deep, dark connection between them.
Exactly.
And that's what's so fascinating about this whole concept of Horcruxes, right? It's not just about the magic.
It's bigger than that.
It's about morality.
It's about the soul.
Like what happens when you do this?
Yeah.
Like what happens when you tear your soul apart?
And what are the consequences?
Yeah. Can you even come back from that?
Right.
So I guess we're kind of left with more questions than answers.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, to really dive deep into this and consider all the ramifications of this dark magic. Yeah. Yeah. And how it affects not just the person who makes it, but, the whole world.
Yeah. And I think it really makes you think about, is immortality worth it? Yeah. Like, would you do this knowing what it would do to you?
Yeah. It's a chilling thought.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So, yeah, that's something for everyone to think about.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.